What's up guys, Shawnthebro here, and we're back for another episode of the third-person action RPG tutorial series. And in today's episode we are going to continue going over our inventory window. So we've done some things with inventory in the past, but recently we've been working on our inventory icons. If I am to open up my inventory menu, then you'll see that we have this little character over here. We have the helmet, weapons, chest plate, leggings, and accessory. These images are waiting to be filled based on what we do with our game. So if I am to pick up this sword, for example, and equip it, it goes to the sword slot right here. We got that working recently, which is great, but one thing that we haven't done yet is allow us to populate these images with the correct icons when we just open the menu. So if I am to close this menu and open it up again, the icons are not here. They only show up when we equip the item. When we load into the inventory menu, we should have all of them populate by default. Additionally, if we do equip one, so come out, unequip, equip again, we see the icon. When we unequip, we should get rid of this icon. It should go back to the default white image or whatever default image you have. We still have a little bit of work to do with these icons, but we're almost done. In today's episode, we're going to make sure that the window is populated with the correct data when we load into the menu. Before we hop into this episode though, if you want to get caught up in the entire series and see how we've done things like our inventory menu, different attacks based on our weapon, enemies, and a whole lot more, I'll link you to the entire third-person action RPG tutorial series right here in the top right corner. Alternatively, if you only care about the inventory menu or inventory window, you don't have to follow the whole series to follow along with this, but I do recommend you watch the previous episodes of the inventory menu. We are going to be building on top of it today, so it is useful to have that knowledge. And I'll link the first one of the inventory menu right here in the top right corner regarding our inventory icons. That way you can follow along with that and then follow along this episode much more easily. With that out of the way, we can go ahead and get started. So this is a code and blueprint tutorial series. We're going to be working with our inventory window widget, which is a blueprint widget. That means we will primarily be working in the blueprints today. So getting started, let's go to our inventory window widget. For me, this is in blueprints, widgets, inventory window. This is our menu that I was showing you earlier. Here are our icons. If we go to the graph and go to event construct, we were getting some objects such as our game mode and our character. Then we were determining if our item stats were static or not. This is an option that we have in our game to determine if we should be able to upgrade our weapons and have randomized values for those weapons, or if we just have weapons that always have the same stats. Depending on your logic, you may have all of this or you may have only one path, but regardless, both paths meet up at the end here, where we go to listen for input actions. This is where we allow the inventory menu to be navigated by the player. So if they press certain inputs, then we move a certain direction, say up or down, or we can confirm or back out of the menu, and other things like that. This is pretty unrelated to today's episode, but there is one little thing I caught while preparing for this episode that I want to call out. In both the return from menu event and the switch to quest menu, these are different events tied to input actions. We use the get owning player pawn and then cast to base character BP. But earlier in event construct, we already did this and then saved out a reference to it. This is our owning character. So I want to change this name from character reference to owning character so it is clear what's going on here. So this is the character that owns the inventory menu. And I don't want to use the get owning player pawn cast to base character BP in these two events. Instead, I just want to use my owning character object. I can do this by simply removing these nodes, getting my owning character, converting it to a validated get, and only if it's valid do we go and perform the logic shown here, like toggle inventory menu. And I want to do the same thing for switch to quest menu here, so remove these two nodes, get our owning character, convert it to a validated get, and only if it's valid do we want to call toggle inventory menu. Not really related to today's episode and the logic we're going to be implementing, but it is related to the inventory menu, and it's something that we could clean up, so I decided to. Also, in return from menu that we just converted, I forgot to drag owning character into is menu open here, so make sure you do that. Anyway, moving on to the logic for today's episode. At the end of all these listen for input actions, we also set the default selection for our menu navigation and then trigger an animation. Finally, we say the menu is open. Once the menu is open, we're ready to populate all the inventory icon pictures that we have here. So at the very end of event construct, I want to do my logic for this. Now I want to put this in a separate function because this is getting pretty big, so I'm going to go ahead and make one now. let's make a new function in our inventory window widget, and we're going to call this retrieve equipped items. And this is going to gather all the equipped inventory items on our character. So back in the event graph, after setting is menu open, we can now call our new function. And we'll do this at the very end of event construct for the inventory window. Inside of this function, what we want to do is grab our owning character variable, and we can cast it to a validated get. Yet again, just to make sure it's valid, we may call this from outside of event construct and we're not positive that it's valid. So it's a good idea to make sure that it is before trying to do anything on it that could cause a crash. What we want to do now is get the equipment in all of their slots. So if there's a slot for the character to equip something, such as their current helmet, we can get that variable and we can convert this to a validated get, because if this is invalid, that means there is no current helmet, which means we don't need to change the image. Or we may want to set the image to the default value. But if it is valid, we want to grab the data from the current helmet to display the proper image. So a very simple way to handle this function is to get the ID of the item. This is something that we have in our game. Each item has an ID. And we can convert this to a string, from integer to string. Then we can get data table row. We have a data table that has all the information about our different types of equipment. And we can select the equipment data table because we know that we're checking the helmet right now. Pass in the string to the row name here because that is our row name. We made sure to name all of our rows the ID of the item. And if the row is found, we can call update icon, which is our function on the inventory window that actually modifies the image to the brush that we pass into this object. If we are to go to our data table, so for me it's in content, blueprints, data, this one is equipment data table. You'll see that we have basic helmet, which has all the information about the helmet, including the image or the icon that we want to display. If I go back to my inventory window widget now and go to my retrieve equipped items function, we go to where we're calling update icon. We know that we're calling this on self. We know that our slot type is going to be helmet because we're in the helmet path. And then for the image, we can just drag off of the out row here and break F equipment into the structure here. We can find our image, pass it into the image on update icon, and then we can click on this node, the break node, and hide unconnected pins to make it smaller and cleaner. And this is all we'll need to do for each type to make it work. So if we come in here to our campaign, go to our helmet, pick it up, equip it, then next time we open up our inventory window, it will still be here, and it is. We need to do this for all of our different types of items. So feel free to organize this however you feel is right. However, I think this is a pretty nice way of doing it because even though we're going to be repeating a lot of logic here just for the correct type, it allows us to have direct control over every single aspect of the inventory window. Now, a pretty quick way to handle this is to copy all the behavior here and just paste it right at the end. We would have to change out our current helmet here for the slot that we would want. So if we're looking at the current chest next, get current chest, we can right click, convert it to a validated get. And if it's valid, go into the get data table row for equipment data table. Then we would plug current chest into ID and we could handle it this way. Then for update icon, we would make sure that we select chest. We need to clean it up a little bit to have our reroute nodes here where we can get to each item. I'm going to put one for owning character up here, and it's just going to go to every single item that we're checking in our inventory. And then I'm also going to have another execution line, 3 route nodes that goes to this get if we fail any of our other checks in the previous inventory item. So for example, if current helmet is not valid, we still will want to check the current chest. Or if we can't find a data table row for the current helmet, we'll still want to go and check the current chest. If we space this out just a little bit more and add a reroute node, we can connect to this from row not found and from the is not valid. And from there, you're good to go. You just want to repeat this pattern for all of your objects. This is our current chest. If I copy this and paste it here, we don't want our current chest anymore, but rather our current leggings. So if we add another reroute node here, but we don't actually have the leggings variable in the character yet. We only have done the helmet and chest, even though I set up a few more items on here. So we can skip leggings for now. Feel free to add them if you have them. But the other two that we have would be our weapons, our primary weapon and our secondary weapon, or left-handed weapon and right-handed weapon. So we can drag off of base character BP and type get current weapon. This is our primary weapon. And we can right click on it and convert it to a validated get and plug that into the ID because it works the same way here. And only if it's valid do we want to get the data table row. But we're not going to be using this data table anymore. We're going to use our weapon data table. And then if the row is found, we're going to break the out row here, which would be F weapon. And we're going to use the image on F weapon to update the icon. And we can hide the unconnected pins to clean it up. Make sure we change the inventory slot type to our primary weapon. We need to make sure we have our reroute nodes just like we did for the helmet to the chest. So you can copy them if you want them to be perfectly spaced and perfectly aligned with your other ones. But if the current chest is not valid, we still want to go to check the weapon. And if the chest is not found in the data table, we also still want to go and check the current weapon. Now there's one more, and that will be our secondary weapon. So we'll do the same thing here. We'll copy this logic, and we will paste it in. But we're not using current weapon anymore. We're going to get the owning characters. Dual wield weapon. So get dual wield weapon. This is your secondary weapon. Right click on it, convert it to a validated get, plug it into ID. If it's valid, go to the weapons data table, use the out row to break the weapon, and then use the inventory slot type as the secondary weapon. And again, this is good at this point, but what you'll probably want to do is make sure that your primary weapon does not block you from getting to your secondary weapon. So if you only have a secondary weapon equipped, you can still get there and display the proper icon. If the data table row is not found for the weapon data table, we still go here. And if the current weapon is not valid, we still go here. So it is a lot of repetition there, but now we can go to each one individually and make sure that all of our behavior is working. If we come into our game, we can test this. We don't have a way to equip our secondary weapon right now. If we pick up a weapon, our helmet, and our chest plate, and then go to our inventory menu and equip all of these things, exit the inventory menu and enter it again, you should see all of them there, and you do. But how can you get rid of them? So if I unequip all these things, exit the menu, and re-enter the menu, it will work, because now when our new function is called in inventory window, which is retrieve equipped items, the current helmet, current chest, current weapon, and current dual wield weapon are all null or not valid, which means they don't go to anywhere. They don't do anything for their icons. However, we don't actually reset the icons when we unequip an item, so that we also have to do. This is what we'll be covering in the next episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode on updating your inventory window and your inventory icons, and if you did, please subscribe. It does more for myself and the channel than anything else you can do, and I really appreciate it. I want to give a huge shout out to my YouTube membership, Discord subscriptions, and Patreon members. You guys are fantastic. Thank you for all the love and support. If you ran into any problems following this tutorial or any of my tutorials, feel free to join the Discord community. There is a link in the description, and I would be happy to help you out. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Shawnthebro, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, guys.